Welcome to Cosmic Wishes, where we turn wishes into cosmic wishes by adding science. Today's guest is Mitzi Ocasio. Okay. Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Wishes Show, where we turn wishes into cosmic wishes by applying science. And I'm so excited today. I've got Mitzi Ocasio, and I have been on her show, I think twice.
Yeah.
And we just became fast friends and soul sisters and all these beautiful things together. And so as soon as I started this show, I was like, I got to get Mitzi. And she was so supportive of me and some of the things that I'm doing. And we haven't caught up for a while. So I'm going to let you all be a little bit of a fly on the wall and hear what Mitzi has to say and what she's doing lately, because she's just making big changes and really helping people in the world in such a beautiful and profound way. And I just want to introduce her to the show, and then we're going to do our typical thing where we look at wishes and then apply science and activities to them and have fun.
Yes, yes. So thank you so much, everybody, for having me. And you, Brunel. Oh, I'm so happy to be here and to support you and to lift you up and to just to connect overall, just to connect because yes, we are good friends. Yes, we did connect when you were on my show. I loved hearing your perspective before, and now I feel just honored to know that I have the same opportunity to share a little bit about myself and what's been going on with me. I have been a busy, busy cat. My sons have been recently diagnosed with autism, so I have been trying to just get them into therapies, all the therapies, and on the waiting list to get to the therapies and the whole shaboodle. And it's been a long haul. I'm still on the wait list and I'm still on the process of getting him into therapies. But when I do get them into therapies, it's like I gotta go now, I gotta have it, so it's been a tug of war situation. And then my dad, he had a stroke. So then I've been helping him get back to life and get himself situated. So when I'm not dealing with my son's therapies, I'm dealing with my father's therapies and getting him situated. But luckily, God has been good to me to giving me the grace to manage everything because now my father um is slowly getting himself back to his feet. He no longer needs a cane anymore and he's
Wow.
moving and grooving. So I thank God for that because strokes are their severity is from paralyzing to just very minor little things. So thankfully my dad was not so far in the extreme essence. But for me personally, I've also written another children's books. I publish
And
now
oh, I bought it.
officially.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's Job Fair for Angels. It was inspired by my father-in-law who recently passed away. And it was just a way to let children and adults and anyone who may be grieving a possibility of hope. You know what I mean? A possibility of what if. What if when our loved ones died, they got into heaven and they had an opportunity to find a job amongst the angels before they get their wings and had the opportunity to go through that job fair and find out if they want to be a guardian angel, a transitional angel, a worship angel, a prayer angel. And you walk through Raul's process to try to get his wings. And at the end, he gets his wings and he's blessed and he blesses his family. So it's a great way for children and for adults to really think about their faith, the possibilities, and just the what ifs of like maybe they're still with me in another manner, because grieving is so difficult to think about, to deal with, and to even process. And even for a child, it's very difficult. So I felt like that was a great way for parents to have that opportunity to speak to the young ones in a different manner without saying suck it up and just deal with it. You know what I mean? They're no longer
Right.
here. I'm not saying that's how
Or
parents
just
do that.
platitudes, right? Then it's not practical, right? They can't really put their in mind. Oh, they're floating on
Yeah.
a cloud in heaven. What does that do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it really makes it in a whole different perspective. And then I just finished writing my novel. I finally finished it. Finished it. I sent it to a publisher. They're working through the if it's gonna get approved or not. So it's exciting process to know that I'm finally done with the novel because when we first talked, I was still getting it, I was still writing on it. And then the second time you talked, I was still writing on it. So now it's officially done. Now it's only took about like 6 years to finally hanker down and get it done, but I did it. So just know, ladies and gentlemen, if you can put your mind to it, you can do it. Just gotta be put the decisions and the actions and make it happen, Captain.
That's right. That's right. And no, novels take a long time. I mean, they don't
Oh,
write themselves, and it,
yeah.
but it's still such a valuable and rewarding experience just of the writing. And then when you
Oh,
hear from fans and you hear people say, "Oh, I couldn't put it down," or "I read it more than once," or or sometimes they'll say, "Oh, these 3 pages I just read over and over again." Like they, and they all those kinds of things are so powerful. So I'm so excited to see all, I mean, well, obviously that's life, right? I mean, you can sit there and say, what's going to happen over the next year? And the truth is, they're going to be good things and they're going to be not good things. That's just the way life is.
yeah, and I can firsthand say that I experienced it because it's real because despite the craziness that happened with my father and my son's blessing came out with my books, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with my podcast because it's booming and it's moving forward and now I'm helping other people move their campaigns and help to promote them on my social medias and help promote their genius and their love and their works and their books and things like that in a manner that makes us realize that we're a community. You know what I mean? We're not about one for all and all for one. It's about like we're all doing this. We all got to lift each other up. We all got to move in a manner that makes everyone shine because when we do, we realize it's not about throwing other people in the bus. It's not being selfish, it's not being greedy. It's about unity. It's about community. It's about realizing that we're a human race. And if we realize that we're a human race that belongs together and unite together, man, imagine the possibilities that can happen. Imagine how we can grow. Imagine how we can evolve. The authenticity would be beyond measure because what we can do is truly move mountains when we unite together and put our heads together and realize we're going to do this and progress forward together. And the world is moving in such a sad place sometimes where we're like, oh no, it's only about me. It's selfishness and throwing
Yeah.
people under the bus and being greedy and self-centered. And it's just like, and that's not me. That's not my MO. That's never been my MO. So it's all about uniting and helping and thriving together. So yeah, that's me.
And that's such a good transition to kind of the why we're here today is, one of the things that was so important and so powerful to me about wishing, especially is looking at some of the things that are happening in the world. And that, and once I started doing all this research on the science of wishing and realizing like collective wishing rituals, in other words, wishing together among us, among ourselves and wishing for the same thing has been a key driver of survival since the dawn of humanity. And we just need to get back there. I mean, we're in this like we can get caught in these lower level energies, but we start wishing together for higher purpose, then we're all kind of having the same vision. And so
Yeah.
I'm excited because I know you've got some wishes today. I don't know what they are. So sometimes I surprise myself and say, what are we going to be wishing for today? And it can be something that you're wishing for personally or professionally, right? It can be something related to the things you just talked about. It can be, and then that can be, we can have more than one wish. We can have another one that's maybe something, a wish that I call a wish that ripples, that maybe reaches, something that you could wish for, like for all your fans and followers or for all your, fellow humanity or whatever. And then maybe we have time for a whimsical wish, something that might seem silly or fun that we can focus on. So, where do you want to get started? I'm going to let you kind of guide because you're so beautifully intuitive and vision and what feels right for you today is for us to do because we're going to kind of evolve, right? The wish might change and evolve as we look at the science that we can apply to it.
I really like the idea of the wish that ripples. I
Okay.
think that one is so powerful because that has been my mantra for my podcast and for all that I'm doing with my books and everything. And truly, I wish that people will think, people will evolve their perspective, that people will change the way that they see the world, they move through the world, that they admire the world, they love the world, that it really does make a ripple effect that when they interact with one another, it's not about prejudice or statistics and fear and paranoia. It's about how can I be of service? How can I help you? How can we do this together? How can we grow together? How can we learn together? Being that universal student of knowing that my cup is not full, but my cup is halfway empty. So there's always space for me to learn from another person. And then for me to also pour into another person so that they can also learn what my knowledge is, you know what I mean? So I think that would be the best wish, the best gift that I would
Yeah,
love for
so
my
let's
fans and
let's
audience.
let's frame it as something we can simply do every day
Okay.
because that's going to be a little hard to repeat. But no, you're saying the same vision. You're just expanding on it, and that's super valuable. But I'm going to tease you a little bit and say, okay, because I'm hoping my wish is that the people listening, that especially the ones that really feel this, and first of all, that they get to know you better through this wish. Right now, they have so much more, and they already did, but now even more. And of course, people who didn't know you before are going, "Wow, Mitzi's got a really good vibe. I like her wish. I want to vibe with her wish." Um, and so let's figure out a way before we start looking at the sciences that we can apply. Let's streamline it, because one thing that's important about the wish and making a wish is that it's something positive, right? The wish is peaceful. You certainly had that nailed, and it's purposeful. We're good there. Now we make it positive, so it's what vision do we have as the outcome of this? In other words, I wish for everyone listening and everyone in my tribe or everyone in my life or everyone in the world, however, to embody this or to deliver this or to practice this or to be, like that be, do, have kind of moment.
I think I would wish for people to have an open mind, if that's the simplest way to say it without trying to make it more than what it is.
Yeah, but let's give it some vision, because what does an open mind look like? Like, so because we want to be able to kind of have, and I don't know what cards are going to come up, but one of the cards could be visualize the wish. So let's try to do that though. What would it look like if the world if everybody listening, like every day they could say to themselves, I wish to have an open mind so I can accept people more and find more in common with people, find people that I can love and support who love and support me. I mean, I'm putting words in your mouth and I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
No, it's okay. I see what you're saying. So I thank you
Yeah.
for that because it gives me a better understanding. So I would say I wish I wish more people would have an open mind, a heart of gratitude, and a willingness to act on, the willingness to be brave in their everyday life.
Okay. So let's repeat that. I wish for everyone to go into every day with an open mind.
I wish everyone to go into every day with an open mind, with a heart of gratitude,
With a heart of
and the
that.
willingness to be brave in all they do.
Okay. So that feels really good. Does that feel good?
Yeah, that
Is there
feels
any
good.
any vibing or is that we want to start with that and then see what the science does?
Let's start with that and see where the science goes.
Okay. Okay. So I've got literally, I'm like a maniac. I've got hundreds of science cards. So I'm going to
Okay.
randomly draw a science card. I'm going to read the science. I never know what they're going to be, and some of them are more complicated than others, but we will see. Well, this is interesting. Okay. So this is it's and then you can see on the cards there's some sciences at the top. And so this one is cognitive science and what I call the three P's, which I was just mentioning, the peaceful, positive, and purposeful. And this one is says in 1817, poet John Keats named something called negative capability, being in opportunities and doubts without irritable or being irritable or reaching after answers. So and then a century later it says a psychoanalyst analyst Wilfred Brion brought the concept into clinical practice, showing that the foundation of true insight. Modern research links it to boy, that's hard to say, ambiguity tolerance and mindfulness, both measurably trainable. And this has to do with when wishes, there's four responses to a wish: yes, no, wait, or something better. And so what's happening here is this is the antidote to when you panic when you're waiting. Like you've made your wish and then you panic because it didn't happen. Maybe you wish to have an open mind and then you go through the day and like, I didn't have an open mind. I didn't do what I needed to do. Or you maybe wishing for something really more specific and that you're wishing for, to hear from a bunch of fans about, something and you can't necessarily control it. So this is the antidote to weight panic. And it was named 200 years before neuroscience caught up with it. So I'm stumbling over it because what basically this is saying is, how do you handle negativity and how do you handle um, the ambiguity of the waiting in wishing?
Yeah.
And I'm going to just completely break my own rules. This is a great science, but I'm not sure it's the right science for your wish.
No, it actually is if you think about it.
Okay, tell me.
Because if you think about it, I asked for an open mind, a heart of gratitude, and the bravery for people to act on every day. And
Yes.
that makes it a realistic card because if you really think about it, we deal with negativity all the time. We deal with a closed-minded individuals all the time. We deal with the struggles of waiting that makes us complacent and then we don't act on bravery. So basically it's reminding us like yes, negativity will be there. Yes, doubts will be there, struggles will be there, pain will be there. But if we fixate our mind on still being open-minded, we fixate our mind on still having a heart of gratitude, we fixate our minds, we're still acting brave even when the circumstances don't make no rhyme or reason, then we will make that wish, not only make it happen, but we will act on it. And that requires courage sometimes. Because when you use courage and you use confidence, that still holds hands with fear, that still holds hands with doubt, but it steps on it. I'm saying, I'm not going to allow you to conquer me. I'm not going to allow you to determine how I'm going to respond to this situation. I'm not going to allow you to tell me to close my mind because I don't see the possibilities yet. So I think it still holds value because if you want the wish hard enough, you're still going to find a way to be open-minded. You're going to still find a way to have an open heart and of gratitude, and you still find a way to still be brave in whatever situation that you may encounter in your day. So yes,
And
I
I
think it's
want I want to
realistic.
give some gratitude and I want to send some love to Mitzi because I hope everybody really heard what she just said, right? And it was such a beautiful way of, she just elevated where I was to like a million degrees above and helped us all see the value in this and this whole idea. Like I wasn't necessarily connecting and she could. And I just want to show you my love and gratitude for that. And hopefully everybody else can see, okay, wait a minute, she knows her wish and she knows that this card was probably chosen for a reason and she figured out the reason even more than I could. And so,
Yeah,
thank you.
because we get stuck on because it's a big wish. It's an
Yeah.
unrealistic wish for some people, especially whoever may be listening, who'll be like, "Well, I can't do that. That can't happen to me." So you pulled it out with somebody else's intentions. You pulled it out with somebody else's pain. You pulled it out with somebody else's struggles. You pulled it out with somebody else's whatever that and their energy may be, not realizing it's still possible. We just have to allow ourselves to shift our perspective to be like, oh, it's possible, but we just have to pull it out of ourselves. And that's the struggle, is pulling out that open mind, that gratitude, and that bravery when it's so much easier to just be complacent, so much easier to give up. It's so much easier to let go. It's so much easier to move on or to do whatever that it may be, to fall into our comfort zone or fall into an old way of thinking, fall into an old way of being that truly doesn't benefit us in the long run. And that's the problem with a lot of people in this world or in this time, is that they don't allow themselves to look past the possibility, to look past the obstacle because all they see is that obstacle in front of them. Like it's like walking in front of the Great Wall of China, not realizing that you can either climb it, go around it one way or another, but you can get through it. But we just don't allow ourselves to see that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and I love the few things that you added to that, to the dimension of it. Is one is, as we're going through our day, sometimes it is hard to be open-minded. Sometimes it is hard to remember to have gratitude and have bravery. And there's also the other dimension that you're adding to it, which is also accepting that others might not be as open-minded. They may not be as great, show as much gratitude. They may not be as brave. And so how do we maintain ourselves while we're in the face of that too, right?
Hmm.
That's a really important and really, really beautiful component. Thank you so much for that. Now you want to try an activity?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna draw from my activity card. So that, like this typical me, like I feel like Julia Roberts in that movie with her money was like all over the place in my card. Maybe. I feel like that's what I'm looking at. Okay, so this one is I don't know if you can see, but it's got neuroscience, psychology, and the three P's again. And this one is the title of it is Nostalgia Walk. And it says research by Konstantin Sedakidis, I hope I said that right, shows warm memories don't just feel good, they regulate stress. They boost optimism and they strengthen your sense of meaning. So today, spend 10 minutes deliberately revisiting a memory that makes you smile. Don't rush past it, let it land fully. Then bring your wish into that warm state. You've just primed your wishing biology.
Hmm, interesting.
So this is a lovely, and we can apply it to your wish, is that when did you feel these things? When was the last time you really felt like your mind was open? That you had saw something in a different way than you ever had, or you saw a person or a group of people or something you think, oh wow, I always thought these people were this way, but I just saw them in a different way. Or maybe it's the other, maybe it's, last time you really felt gratitude or brave.
To be
Which
honest, it's an everyday thing for me because my husband's very stubborn and he's a mule. I call him my mule because he's very stuck in his ways. He's very stubborn and he's very difficult sometimes. And he reminds me to be open-minded, to have gratitude and to be brave in my actions because when he shuts down, that's when I have to step up. You know what I mean? So honestly, it's an everyday thing with me when it comes to my husband because he's literally the complete opposite of me. But I'm grateful for him because it reminds me that there are people like him in this world that shut down or break down or get hurt so easily if something doesn't fall their way or if it doesn't happen the way that they expect it to be. And it makes me have grace for the individuals like him because it reminds me that we're all difficult in our own way, but we are all still worthy of love despite our difficulties. So that's why I always say to keep an open mind because I I don't walk his shoes. I don't know fully all of his experiences, but I do know him for the heart that he has, and that's why I'm with him. You know what I mean? Or I wouldn't be with him. So that's where that is, and I'm still grateful because he's still a good father and he's still a good husband. And it's bravery because despite people telling me to let him go or despite people to not believe in our relationship, I'm still brave enough to still love him and still be patient with him and still be kind to him and still give him the benefit of the doubt despite what people may think or believe. And I think that is something that I practice every day.
That's really, really beautiful. So I think this is great. Do we want to end here or do we want to add another whimsical wish or something? Or do I think this is, feels like a good place to stop, but do you feel like there's more?
Hey, I'm in your control. If you want to do a whimsical wish, that's fine. Or if you want to end it, I
Well,
support
do
you.
you
This
have a
is
whimsical wish
what
for us today?
what would be defined as a whimsical wish?
I don't know. I want to let you define it, but it's just something that might sound frivolous or might sound just for fun or just for laughter or that, might even seem superficial, but something you could just, that this would be and that just allow people to have an opportunity to see that wishes don't have to be serious. They can also be things that like, okay, I wish that I could have a popsicle today, and then everybody starts having popsicles today. I mean, I'm making up something completely crazy.
Um, A whimsical wish. I wish that my animals can speak. You know what I mean? Like I know that's very whimsical, that's very
Oh,
Alice in Wonderland, but if I could hear my dog and my cat speak to me and just tell me like touch me, just love me, just care for me, just give me that treat, woman. Like I would think it would be so hilarious because
I
in my
love
mind that's how I imagine my cat just talking to me like, "Give me my treats, woman. I
that.
need my treats." And my dog like, "Just love me, play with me, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, love me, pet me." You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think it would be funny to hear that. That would be my wish.
I think that is a really fun wish, and I think we can look at these things, but as far as the activity that we just drew, there are times, I mean, maybe they aren't using actual words, but there are times when we know. I mean, I understand that dogs understand what 500 words or something like that, that humans maybe it's 1,000. I don't know. The research is not within my grasp immediately, but we know we know a lot of what's going on in their mind. And I know there's been some fun research on that. So I love that. So maybe we could also think about a whimsical wish, and even if anybody's listening or watching and they say, okay, I know my dog just told me this. Like, I know my cat they spoke to me. I don't care what you say, might have been psychic powers or might have been whatever. Then that'd be a fun story to share. So that's a fun way to kind of wrap up and just say, thanks everybody for being here, and please share in Mitzi's wish. And now you know her better, and you know what she wishes for you and for everyone. And just we love comments and questions and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you. Anything you want to say before we close?
I think what you're doing is great because it's a sense of hope, a sense of wonder, and a sense of just curiosity. And that's a skill that's lost in this world nowadays. We lose hope easily, we lose curiosity, we lose imagination, we lose all of those key aspects that is so important in this day and age not to lose. And you bringing it back with all of your amazing guests reminds people to just live and just be and just wonder and just be curious and just have imagination. So I thank you for providing this platform, not just for myself, for everybody out there, then all your listeners, because you're bringing back something that is needed in this world during this time where people are scared, people are so depleted, they feel so stuck, they feel so overwhelmed, they feel no way of hope anymore because it's like, oh, I got bills, oh, I got responsibilities, oh, the gas prices, oh, the war, oh, the struggles, oh, the shootings, oh, the killings, oh, all of these things that makes the world so scary. But when you bring this out into the world and you help people think about this in this manner, it really shines a light in a dark place. So I thank you for this.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And keep an eye out for Brownell's TEDx talk coming soon. The Art and Science of Wishing, now available. And as a special thank you for watching to the end, please visit brownelllandrum.com/bonus for a free gift. May your cosmic wishes light the sky.